Battle Through the Heavens. Chapter 192. Finding the source of intense heat beneath the desert. The desert's salt still stings his throat as the white glare collapses into a lightless, plunging void. Slick stone rushes past his grip, the momentum tightening his chest until his boots strike the floor with a bone-deep jar. He exhales the last of the surface heat, facing 10 gaping arteries where shadows press hard against a single pale moonstone.
Xiaoyan held Qinglin tight as they slid down the steep, pitch-black incline. The girl gripped a small moonstone, its pale glow cutting through the dark to reveal the path ahead. Behind them, a dozen figures followed in a tight line. Xiaoyan watched the walls fly past. The stone was smooth and polished, as if a massive cylindrical pillar of energy had bored straight through the earth. After several minutes of descent, the slope leveled off. Xiaoyan coiled his legs and hit the floor, his knees bending to absorb the impact. He set Qinglin down and stepped forward. 10 dark tunnels branched out from the chamber like a maze. He looked at the girl.
Can you sense anything? We will be here for days if we check them one by one.
Qinglin nodded and took his hand. Her green eyes flickered as 3 tiny emerald dots appeared around her pupils, though the darkness hid the change from Xiaoyan. She closed her eyes and reached out with her senses. The sound of sliding feet echoed through the chamber as Xiao Ding and the desert metal mercenaries reached the bottom. Xiaoyan signaled them to stay quiet. Xiao Ding nodded to his men. They drew their weapons and formed a defensive circle around the girl, their eyes scanning the shadows. A moment later, Qinglin opened her eyes and pointed to a tunnel on the left.
"Young master,"
she whispered.
"the other paths have traces, but this one is the strongest. Someone stayed in there for a long time, about 6 months ago."
Xiaoyan stared into the black void of the tunnel. It seemed endless. He took a breath and prepared to lead the way, but Xiao Ding caught his shoulder.
"Wait."
Xiao Ding shook his head and looked at a burly man nearby.
"Han Mu, check the path."
The large man stepped forward and knelt. He thrust his hands deep into the sand on the tunnel floor. Xiaoyan watched, his brows furrowed in curiosity.
Han Mu has a mutated earth affinity.
Xiao Ding explained.
In the desert, he can use the sand to feel for vibrations or hidden breath.
Xiaoyan smiled.
The Desert Metal Mercenary Company has more talent than I expected. Working with a team like this is much better than traveling alone.
We do what we must to survive.
Xiao Ding said. He looked at Han Mu.
What do you see?
The big man pulled his hands from the sand and frowned.
I cannot sense anything. My reach extends 500 yards, but the deeper I go, the more the earth energy vanishes. It is being replaced by an incredibly powerful fire energy. It is so hot that my senses cannot penetrate it.
The earth energy is gone? Xiaoyan and Xiao Ding shared a look of shock. They were deep under the desert, where earth energy should be at its peak. Xiaoyan whispered to himself. A massive surge of fire energy in a place like this meant a high probability of finding a heavenly flame. His heart hammered against his ribs. This was what he had been searching for. Xiao Ding saw the hunger in his brother's eyes.
Let us move. But if things get dangerous, we turn back and plan. We know the location now. With time, we will reach the goal.
Xiaoyan nodded and reached back to touch the heavy Xuan ruler on his back. He pulled Qinglin close and stepped into the tunnel. He swallowed a Qi recovery pill, a habit born from years of close calls. In a place like this, Dou Qi was the only thing between life and death. Xiao Ding stayed behind him, giving quiet orders.
Leave a moonstone on the wall every 50 yards.
The group moved through the oppressive silence. The only sound was the rhythmic scuff of boots on sand. As they went deeper, the biting cold of the underground faded, replaced by a growing, dry heat. Xiaoyan stopped and looked back at his brother.
The fire energy is so dense, it is suppressing the earth energy. That is why Hanmu could not see past it.
Xiao Ding wiped sweat from his brow.
If it is this strong here, what is it like at the source? Could a heavenly flame really be down there?
Xiaoyan licked his dry lips. Since he began practicing the flame mantra, he had dreamed of this. The thrill of it made his hands tremble.
Keep moving.
Xiaoyan said, his voice low and serious.
If any of you cannot handle the heat, stop. If you go too far, your blood might boil in your veins.
The mercenaries nodded. Xiaoyan turned to the girl.
Qinglin, if it gets to be too much, tell me.
I am fine.
She said. She seemed unaffected by the soaring temperature. They pushed on. The heat became a physical weight. One by one, the weaker mercenaries were forced to retreat, gasping for cool air. Eventually, only Xiaoyan, Xiao Ding, and Qinglin remained. Xiaoyan felt his flame mantra reacting. Even without his command, the technique began to circulate, pulling his purple flame Dou Qi through his meridians at a frantic pace. He had never felt it move this fast before.
We are almost there.
Xiaoyan rounded a corner and saw a faint red glow at the end of the passage. His voice was raspy, his throat parched. The three of them broke into a run, covering the final stretch of the tunnel. They reached the exit and stopped dead. Before them lay a world of fire and molten rock.